Hello friends, Happy Life, chapter 115. I'm here outside on the yard of my house. My dogs are around. You may hear some barking. Let's see if I can get this done without much noise. Discipline your will as not to succumb to irresponsibility. Start small, maintaining order and efficiency in each endeavor. When you have a lot to do, don't waste time deciding how to begin. Start with the closest task and then move on to the next, and so on until you have finished them all. Unless you take the first step, you'll never reach the end. A lecture begins with the first word. Discipline is behind the success of all great achievements. So I believe that Joanna has dealt with the issue of discipline in a chapter before this one. And I also remember kind of smiling because that's something that I think I try to practice in my life quite a bit, and I can say that it is very helpful in accomplishing things when we have discipline and when we come up with strategies that help us to organize, whether we are talking about outside practical things of our lives or sometimes the complexities of our inner world. So she starts by saying that to discipline our will, not to succumb into responsibility. So will is everything, right? Is the engine that keeps us running, that keeps us going, and our will tends to fluctuate. Sometimes it's a little stronger, sometimes it may lose some of its strength. But if you have discipline, you will keep reminding yourself about your commitments. You will keep reminding yourself about the meaning of the things that you have committed to, and you keep bringing yourself back to the task that you have at hand. And sometimes tasks can be pretty overwhelming. Life can be pretty overwhelming for that matter, and we might have a lot to deal with. A huge project. Life itself is a huge project. Our emotional world, our relationships, all of that stuff is pretty big and pretty huge, but we cannot be overwhelmed by it. We need to look at it and start from somewhere, as she's saying here, using discipline and focus, and sometimes a little bit of strategies to establish what is priority, and also what can you do first, what is the easiest thing for you to do, what can you start and be successful, and then take the next step, and so on and so forth. So you don't need to start with anything big. It doesn't need to be anything massive. Something small, but start. That's what she's saying. So don't spend too much time thinking and just wondering what you're gonna do. Like, again, focus. You have a big task. You have many steps, many things that you need to do. Do a little list, break it down in little parts, establish what you can do first, what would be the easiest thing. Don't need to start with the hardest things. Sometimes we are so hard on ourselves and we expect so much. Perhaps one little step is going to be the good start, and then we'll take more easily to the second step, and so forth, right? So unless you start, you take that very first step, you never get to the end. Everything starts with this first step. A lecture can be pretty overwhelming sometimes, but start, read a small passage, then take some time and just think about what you read, what you learned, what the message is, and little by little you can build up that lecture. Same thing with conflicts or emotional situations. Start by maybe just giving yourself some time, identify your feelings, write down the emotions. What is it that you feel like you can more easily tackle? You can have greater access to understand. What are the situations that you have to solve in your life? So taking some time, taking a look at things and trying to break down in small pieces, trying to establish priorities, and most importantly, start. I'm not sure if this is the right place to start. Well, you're gonna find out. You better start, get started, get going, and use discipline to keep yourself on track. If you feel like, oh, this is not the right way, don't give up. Don't let your will weaken. Just say, well, I need to redirect myself, and just so do that. Maybe I'll need to take a different path here, then just do that. Don't be don't let your will be weakened by, your natural failures or mistakes. We all do them. So discipline is behind the success of all great achievements. So we are all capable of great achievements, and developing discipline is part of life, and it can be done by all of us.